All right. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, take your shoes off, and have a seat. It is Relationship Recap, and you guys know what we do every Friday night. We all get together and we talk about Family Empire and Love and Marriage Huntsville. Last week we talked more about Family Empire, but I thought that Love and Marriage Huntsville was a little bit juicier, but this week I don't know. I don't know which one is going to tip the scale. So let me bring my co-host in so we can figure out who's going to get the lion's share of the conversation tonight. What's good, Scorpio Moe? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. What's
It
up, Chris?
is Good Friday. You know what? I joined you today. I am pajama Christal today. I joined you in the PJs because
Okay.
I have had a long, difficult week. How about you today? You guys, what do you think? This week was particularly difficult for me. There was some challenges, workplace challenges, to say the least. Um, just challenges. I did have a good time with my son, who actually is headed out of town, headed back to work. He is a teacher, a professor in Michigan, so he's headed back. So, I always enjoy spending time with my son, but this was a particularly difficult week for me. So I am happy to be here.
Okay.
I am excited to be here with the XO family.
Well, the
Wednesday,
week is over. The week
it's
is
it
over.
is
The
over. It is over. It is technically over. And new beginning, like when things end, it always is an opportunity for something new to begin. Um, and
exactly.
so I'm taking that. Oh, hey, Miss Pretty Amazing. Thank you so much for dropping by to say hello. I promise you, these conversations tonight, even if you don't watch Family Empire or Love and Marriage Huntsville, tonight's conversation, because of the topics that are happening on both shows, are definitely going to be worth the conversation and tuning in. So trust me, you will
Absolutely.
definitely get something out of the conversation, even if you don't watch either of the shows. But let me ask you one, because I know we've talked over the years, and you know how do you prepare yourself? And I'm just saying this clearly on what I've dealt with this week. I've had several situations come to an end, right, over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months, from positions with different companies, and
Right.
just clients and things like that. And so how do you kind of navigate that when something ends that you may know may be best for you, but you're just kind of familiar with it or used to it? What how do you handle that situation?
Um, I really a lot of breathing, and this is when I lean on my higher power, like because it's every, especially if you know it, there needs to be change. I've never had, when I really think about it, I've never really had a bad change because it always transitions into something good later. If
Yeah.
not then, but later. So once I start to embrace that, you just take that real deep breath and be like, here we go. And that's when your faith kicks in, whatever your higher power is, whatever your faith. And I think that's what kicks in.
Yeah.
And we're all still here, and it hasn't let us down yet. Think if
Yeah.
you really think about it. So I
No,
just kind of
I
lean,
agree.
I just kind of lean on that and just remember past transitions and changes, and just know there's something good in here. Even if I need to get, this needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It still could be a difficult thing to, and I think that's what kind of these ladies are learning on the show,
Yeah.
especially the one young lady. So I think that's the big thing. For me, that's how I deal with it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think definitely a change. I cannot say that all change has not been bad, but I will say that you learn, as my granny would say, you keep laying down and getting up. And so but these type of issues with like clients, or as a small business owner, this is
Right.
part of the one two
Yeah.
step. So what I will say is I just appreciate this family here, this community. This I do have more free time, so you guys are going to be seeing me more on YouTube. And then I also am working on a course. So I decided to kind of take this time. I was blessed enough to be able to receive a doctoral degree earlier this year. So I'm working on a course that I'm going to put out, and then doing some more writing. But as a result, like I said, you guys will definitely see me more on YouTube because I have time freed up. So just to share more articles, more conversation. So yeah, that can't be bad.
No, it can't be bad. It can't be. And whatever it is, I mean, you'll see as you go through. We're gonna sit back and talk about this, and
We always do.
and then we just find out, things are necessary.
Yeah,
Certain things are necessary.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, tonight's episodes, like I said, was these. I want to start with Family Empire because I feel like Love and Marriage Huntsville is a lot of like messiness, and we enjoy that. But I feel like on this channel was the purpose of it is not just to enjoy the pettiness, the petty behavior. I think it's also to like have conversations about stuff that is really going on in people's lives. And I feel like, man, the Family Empire Houston tonight's episode and even last week's, it just opens up what I think a lot of families have dealt with underneath. Also, I think it to me opened up why Love and Marriage Huntsville comes on Saturday, but last Saturday, of course, we do these on Friday, so we talk about the episode of last Saturday's episode. But I think a lot of the issues that we see on social media when it comes to Black men and Black women, right? And we see this new idea of women being, really intolerant of issues of anything at this point, and men feeling unappreciated and so many different things. I think a lot of that has to do with the conversation that we see happen tonight on Family Empire, and I'm explaining what I mean. I think for a long time we have this idea of like toxic masculinity, and I hope people will share this. I hope you guys will come in and like and share this because this conversation is bigger than tonight's episode, and I wish more people would talk about it from the perspective of like what is causing these issues.
Okay.
So we hear about toxic masculinity and we see all this infighting, right, with Black men and Black women, but a lot of it comes from the fact that our history, right, in the past, Black women specifically, because that's who our target is here, and that's really what this show is geared towards, we're taught to turn a blind eye, and Black men were not held accountable for some of the things that they did.
Okay.
And I think as a result, when we see the G1s, right, dealing with this issue of one woman being in a relationship with a man that was cheating on her, they might not have been, it sounded like they might have been engaged or definitely thinking about marriage. And he was playing around. When you hear the conversation from the G1 sitting around the table, that was a powerful conversation because you have sisters talking about what they did for their brother, but you also have one of the other sisters saying that she dealt with something similar, right? So I think that, this generation, the G2s and even the G3s, and what we see happening today on social media is a direct result of those daughters and granddaughters of the women that were used to dealing with outside children or a man that had multiple families and saying, I don't want to deal with that. I saw my mother be hurt in that situation, and I don't want to be her. Tonight's episode just felt, to me, it was a reminder of our past and how things were handled, right? Our grandparents, a lot of them dealt with that type of issue. Man is working, and if he's working and providing, he doesn't get questioned. We saw a table of women sitting around dealing with hurt caused by a man that was nowhere in the picture, right? He was out someplace eating. He was not involved. And it's sad to me because the only person that really could stop that conversation was not there, and nor will he be held accountable because the sisters worked out what they were going to do on their own. So let me just, for those of you that might not be watching the show, let me just add some clarity to the conversation. So, or some context rather. So there is a family that we see the great grandmother, Oscarine, and then we see her children. So out of her children, her daughters and sons, one of her sons, Bubba, I don't know his Christian name, but that's what the nickname is for him. He was involved with two women, and it seemed like he was extremely involved with two women. And so he ended up marrying one, but he has children. Both of the women were pregnant at the same time, and the daughters were born several months apart. So he chooses one, marries her, and has another daughter with her, and they go on about their business. Now, his sisters, being the strong women that they were, realized that he had a child out with another woman. So he's married. This family is solidified. He's moved on, right? The sister said, no, that's not right. We're going to make sure that this daughter, even though she's not with the wife, she still is around her family and gets to know her family. So one of his sisters went and would pick the little girl up and bring her around. Now, that caused a lot of pain for his wife, obviously, right? I have a sister, I have a brother, so I am a sister, and I am also a wife. And I think I can see from both sides. If it was my brother and my brother had a child outside of his marriage, I would still want to know my niece or nephew, and I would still want the niece or nephew to be around. However, as a wife, it would bother me that that my husband had stepped out of our relationship. And even though a lot of times people say, well, if you accept him, you accept the children. True, but that's easier said than done, because the child is a constant reminder for the wife that the husband stepped out. So there's pain. The child has pain, which we see in Keisha. And then we see the wife has pain. Keisha's mother has passed on, right? So we don't see her pain, but I'm sure she had pain as well.
Definitely.
I don't mean to suggest that Bubba did not have pain, but this is a situation that he created that he's not navigating. The conversation tonight was, if he did not step up and bring Keisha around, his sister did. And the wife got upset because she felt like the sister was meddling in her business. The sister also had a man that had an outside child. So she was like, well, I'm able to do it. You should do it too, right? I'm able to bring my husband's child from another situation in. You should do it too. The most important thing is she's a Braden. It's a lot of emotion. And I just want to ask you as a man, because I'm looking at it as a woman. I see these women sitting around the table dealing with all this hurt incurred by a man. And I feel like he's still not taking accountability for his actions and leaving the women to deal with his mess. Right. So I'm wondering, as a man, how do you see that situation, and how do you feel like he could have stepped up, or do you think that he's doing the best he can?
Woo, that's a lot. The first thing that comes to mind is he has all sisters. So in one way, they're being protective of their brother. Mm-hmm. In one way. In another way, I think, like you said, it's their niece. But then there's this small piece of me that's like, did you talk to your brother before you did that? Because that's still his business. Mm. It might be your niece, but it's his child, and he has to deal with that. Yeah. Did you give him a time? Because I've seen that in breakups where, let's say there's a couple together, they break up, he moved on, the sisters are still cool with the woman. Yep. There's a cookout, they invite her without checking him and asking him. The brother come first now. Mm-hmm. but they invite the woman, and it's a whole nother mess because he might bring somebody else, or he just don't want to be around her. And their excuse is, well, she's part of the family, this, that, and the other, or that's my friend, or we're still cool. So it's all these little boxes that you got to check, depending on your relationship with this man, right? Whether that's your daddy, your brother, and it sounds like they're very protective of her brother. They're not even looking for accountability on him, which there should be. And the bigger issue is he's the biggest thing in here, and he needs to step up. He needs to, whatever he's feeling, he's got to put that man up, bro. Everybody's grown now, and you still not manning up? Yeah. Like, say something, guide this. This is your doing. Clean up your mess. Like, at some point, you can't hide behind your sisters. You're letting other people argue and you walking in and out the kitchen and you ain't saying nothing. And just
crab legs and
like you can care less. And all that shows me is that I can tell him, I don't know if he's where he falls in between the sisters, but you know, that's crazy. And the sad part about it is, if there was a brother there with him, I'm not sure if his brother will hold him accountable either. He'd be like, he'll probably pull him to the side and say you're wrong, but he gonna mind his business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that's the problem. I feel like in my family and in families, in a lot of Black families, male children are not held accountable.
I'm gonna tell you something, and this is a real story. And you know my situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my mother's mother. This is even before my mother. Mm-hmm. My aunt went to go take me to meet my mother's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I vaguely remember it, but I kind of do. I just remember being in the house, and I didn't find out till years later my father was pissed. You know what I'm saying? He was pissed that my aunt, his sister, went to go take us to meet my mother's people, or my mother's mother.
Why was he angry?
I mean, how do I say it without saying too much? It was like,
he didn't want you guys to have anything to do with that side of the family because of the situation.
Yeah, y'all ain't been there. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you see, you know, I don't want to say too much, but you know what I'm saying. No.
And
it's because of that. And it was like, yo, if you're going to abandon it, don't. But you know, women have a heart and they feel a certain way, and you can't really knock them for that. They have way more compassion than we do. You know what I mean? And being a mother, they have a different attachment. But at the same time, you have to understand that he has a different attachment. But I understand both sides on all these scenarios. I get a piece of every, except the Bubba now, because Bubba, anybody grown now, B.
But as we see from a clip from next week, he still hasn't dealt with it.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But I just think it's important to acknowledge, you know, that, and I think maybe we should have a therapist come on and talk about this next week, next Friday, because there are a lot of families dealing with pain, and I just want to point out that heartbreak and pain don't necessarily go away because it's been a long time, right? Around that table was palpable pain. And it's been years. This woman is in her 40s. Keisha is in her 40s. Monet is not Monet, but Monique. Nicole is in her 40s, and they're the ones that were born months apart. They're in their 40s, and the family is still broken over Bubba's actions. And even though it's been 40 years, there's still been no resolution. And a lot of times, people assume that hurt should go away, but what happens is it gets covered up, ignored, and the pain doesn't go anywhere. And I would think that Keisha deals with this in her relationships. I guarantee you that Nicole deals with this in her relationship. And I think that in order for us to really talk about all these issues that we see with people going back and forth, Black men and Black women kind of attacking each other, it's because There are so many issues like this unresolved. So many
Um,
situations happen in families, and your perspective is always a little bit of what you've been through. So if you were in a home and saw, I remember my ex, his grandfather had a child. I don't want to keep saying outside child, but that everybody understands what that means when you say that. So we're sitting around at the dinner table, and grandfather's child shows up, and she's 20. Grandmother and grandfather been married 40 years. Huh? Like, I'm just like,
mm,
and no one said, and at the time, my husband didn't even know, he didn't even understand. He was like, wait a minute, because he was a kid when it happened, so he didn't understand what that meant. What that meant is that Big Daddy has stepped out.
it's a different. They definitely handle things different, and the 40-something-year-olds, the 50 to 40-something-year-olds is the first generation that said, no, this is wrong. Let's talk about it. When they did not do that before. And I'm glad it's happened. I'm glad they're not sweeping under. They're addressing things.
Yeah.
They are addressing things that everyone knows outside children, LBC-ness, all kind of stuff.
That you can be like, my uncle lives with a guy that's his friend, and he's like, it was so much swept under the, and I think that's why now everything is being exposed to at every level.
Now we are learning how to deal with it. We didn't get to that part yet, but I like the fact that we're putting it on the table.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure it out. And it's tough because listening to Nicole and listening to Keisha, I understand both sides, man. I
resonate with the mother and the sister, because I know for me, if your husband has an affair, it is a hurtful thing.
Mm-hmm.
If he has an affair and it produces a child, because it's hard enough to get over the betrayal, but when you have to look at the betrayal,
there's a reminder.
That's a reminder. And LaToya, you're right. It is never the child's fault. But emotions are something that you can't tell yourself how to feel. You can tell yourself if it's right, but at the end of the day, you still may feel a certain kind of way. And so I've also heard people say, we say this all the time, well, if she can't get over it, she should just leave. But the reality is, you may love your husband and you have children. She also had a child. Like, there's just no right way for that to happen without it being a lot of hurt initially. And because he ignored it, and he ignored it. And so the aunts brought Keisha around at their house. There's no way for that to ever be healed properly, because they played around it, right? So I get to see my sister when I go to my cousin's house, and the mother had to be dealing with that pain. So I empathize with the mother. A lot of women, especially us as Black women, we're very non-empathetic to
which mother?
I'm empathetic to both.
Okay.
Both, but I'm saying Keisha's mother, we don't really get a chance to see her, because we see her through Keisha. But Nicole's mother, I see she stayed with the man, raised her children, and that's a constant reminder. He does not seem like he gave her any, and that's probably one of them things where, he wasn't going to go bring the child out. And we heard him say tonight in next week's episode, she don't have to care. That's not her child. A lot of time the man will not go back and actually interact with that child and try to bring that child in. So if he doesn't do it because he doesn't want to hurt his wife,
fellas, this is where, how we separate things, we're able to compartmentalize things, and this is one of the times where it backfires on us. It's not right. This is where it even though we could do it, we can't expect that of others.
What do you mean you could do what?
I mean, we can. Now, I'm not saying we can even compartmentalize this situation, but we can just do it in general. This is sex. This is love. This is this. This is that, and they're not touching each other. But
You guys can't, because if no, because
no. I'm saying in this situation, we can't do that. Even if whatever we feel, because obviously he did, but
he did. But if Nicole's mother had gotten pregnant on him, he would have left.
That's what I'm saying. It's not right. I'm just saying this is where it backfires, and you can't be selfish. Even you feel a way. You got kids. You got other people involved. If you're doing it and it don't affect nobody, that's one thing. But you're doing it and it affects families. This is where it's wrong. It's sticky. It's nasty. And you gotta handle it. Like, he's the biggest. We need to put him under the fire.
Bubba has to come to the test. That's really what should happen. Crazy, but man. I wonder why, and I welcome the chat to share.
I bet you, baby brother,
that Black men were coddled. A lot of times we're coddled by the sisters, by the mom. Oscarine should have told him, you go get that baby girl.
You know what?
That's your baby.
Because I'm pretty. He was living at the time. Papa.
Yeah. But that is the culture. That is the culture that we come from, where the man, all he had to do was go to work, and as long as he was going to work and providing, women just kind of dealt with it. But that's why there's a lot of unsatisfied women, which is why I'm telling you, that's why a lot of these girls today, they're not with it, because they're like, I saw my grandmother miserable. I don't want that life. I don't want to be with a man that brings home children and expects me to be okay with it.
That's fair. I'm not. I get that. I definitely get that. I can see that. And they not wrong. If that's what you see, if households are different, but if you seen that in your family and you seen traditions of that, I know 3 generations of Section 8 welfare. You know what I'm saying? And then I've seen that 4th generation turn it around and be like, I don't want to be like that. Yeah. I've seen that on Broke Men, 3 generations, and then the guy turned around and became successful. So when we see things as young people, especially now, so I know some of us complain about the younger generation, but you got to give it to them. They seen some stuff, and they be like, from their grandmother and sometimes their parents, these young people in their 20s, and they not having it. You got to give it to them. They not having it.
Yeah, I think it's a direct result, and it's our generation's fault. Well, and we're not.
It's whose generation's fault?
Well, we're not the G1s. We would be it's not our. It's our.
We're the ones that started up the conversation. At least
we did. It's there. It's the G's. The G's, not the G1s.
G1s, man. I'm telling you, ain't no good in them stuff.
Yeah,
but you know what, man? They believe it or not. Okay, so if they're the G1s, these are the people. They came right after the civil rights movement, right?
Yes.
So
they were kind of born into.
So they're in their 20s and the 70s, right? And it was a different time, and they moved a little different. You can tell from the civil rights movement to the Black Panther movement to the what did they call that? It was a name for that, but they moved a little different. They also got on a lot of drugs. Let's say. Not these people, but what I'm saying is,
no, you're right. Alcohol, and
they
drugs.
faced a lot of other challenges that what I'm saying that just left, and then that raised us. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man.
Nola Darling said my grandmother died miserable but held on because divorce was wrong, and that I think that's what so many people see, and that's why marriage is not. People don't have the same respect for marriage, because a lot of people were married and stay married. They were just miserable. And if the father, I've heard of situations where the father had several outside children. And when I say outside, I'm just saying outside of the marriage. You know what I mean? Right. Not that that's anything against the children.
Right.
But I do wonder, what the men like. What does I would love to know? Like, I would love to have a conversation, and maybe we can create this. I'll do some research, but people in that generation are not usually on YouTube, and so they may not be willing to come on. But I wonder what that man is thinking about that child. Does he allow himself to humanize that child, or does he just see that child as the mistake? Because it seems like he just wanted to avoid it to keep his wife happy and keep his family intact.
I think they do. When and you would figure these guys right now, they're the G2s, they're 60s, right? I mean late 60s, 70s, right? All right. So I had a conversation with someone that went to go find their son. Well, they were curious about a son that they had in the early 70s.
While they were married to someone else?
Well, they went to Vietnam, came back.
Yeah.
The woman was pregnant, came back, and couldn't find the child, so on and so forth, or whatever the case. But they were talking to some other guys, and they were like, yo, they got older and they really started to think about that. And they was like, yo, I got a son out there. And I've heard guys have this conversation even in my age and was like, yo, I think I might. And it hits them. I don't know when it hits them. It hits everybody different. And the guy told him, yo, go ahead, find your son, man. Reach out to your son, so on and so forth. And they bumped into the mother. The mother gave him the info, so on and so forth. But I say that to say, quietly, and these guys, if you ever see them, they don't really have much emotions. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that they don't feel something inside. I'm not saying this brother does or doesn't. I'm just saying a lot of these dudes weren't able to express how they really feel, so on and so forth. So I really think that some of them do. I'm not gonna say they all don't have a conscience. I think some of them do. They express it in different ways, or they're shameful. They feel shame, and they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know. So to avoid it, they think that's the best thing.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
And you know what I'm saying? It's just like the guy that does have a child and he doesn't have any money. He wants to see the child, but he knows he doesn't, and he stays away, not because he doesn't want to see the child, because he has nothing for the child. And that's not right. I'm just telling you how some guys process information.
That's what we're trying to get to, because I'm trying to understand what Bubba is thinking, seeing how hurt that all the hurt that he's caused.
I think if her mother was still here, he might address it.
Why would you say that?
Because to look both of them in their face and walk through the house like that, or knowing she's living in that town, I don't know how you could do that.
He did that for years, though. This woman.
No. Well, at some point they knew. I mean, he did it, but you get older, you do it, and they're little. They can't really ask you questions. You know what I'm saying? But by the time this person is able to talk to you, you better have answers for them.
But see, I kind of agree with Toya. I don't think Bubba gives a flying F, because that woman, Keisha's mom, was alive. I mean, all this time he has walked around and he is not. You could tell by the way the women were sitting around the table crying. His sister's crying over him, saying that this is our bloodline and we cannot let her be. He did not care. Now, I would have loved to hear if the sisters had went to him and had a conversation and said, hey, but it sounds like the family, the toxic masculinity that we talk about is created when we don't hold Black men accountable, and we go get a daughter for your brother, as opposed to telling him, look, you better go get your daughter, and you have to face this. If you were bold enough to lay down with two of them women, you need to be bold enough to talk to both of them and figure it out.
To hear that, I think he needs to hear that from his dad.
But to pull someone's point earlier, the dad could have been on the same stuff.
Oh shoot! Well, ain't the well,
I mean, think about it, because if it's a lot, the way the sisters are not blaming him, they're basically trying to figure it out. That's taught behavior.
He must be the baby brother. I can't see. That's crazy.
I think that's just the way that has been our culture for a long time. Mothers love the sons, teach the daughters, and the daughters are taught that the women hold the family together and the men do what they do. And to Lynn Toy's point, she says, when my ex-husband cheated, my aunts told me to stay with him and blame the woman he cheated with. I rejected that advice. Good for you, girl.
Damn
But
it.
but that's the thing. I remember for myself, women in my family, as long as you're in the driver's seat, who cares who's in the passenger seat? Who cares who's in the back seat? You focus on the fact that you're the wife. There's that idea. Now, my granny was not with that, and she just believed in divorcing men. And
well, your granny was a spunky woman, and
my granny was funky. Yeah, I remember just a funny story to break up some of the heaviness. My granny had 3 husbands and divorced kicked all 3 of them to the curb, and had several boyfriends paying different bills. And I remember one of her there was this guy that was in love with her named Al from that had been in love with her for years. I don't necessarily know. My granny had a lot of different boyfriends after she divorced her last. My pop. I've talked about that, how hurt I was that she kicked pop to the curb.
damn it.
Yeah, Al had finally gotten Granny, and he would take her on a date after church. And I called Granny and I said, "Did you go out with Al?" And she said, "I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. I'm not going out anymore." And I said, "Well, what did he do, Granny?" And she said, "Well, he just wants to go to the buffet, and I'm just sitting there. I'm sick of sitting there watching this old man chew. All he does is run back to get another plate and get another plate, and I'm just sitting here watching him chew. I don't have no." She said, "There's nothing for me to do sitting here. I don't want to go back and forth to the buffet, and I don't want to sit and watch no old man chew." And so she said she got up, she got her purse, her pocketbook, and she got up and she told him not to call her no more because she wasn't coming up there no more watching him chew. And she left Al at the buffet after church, and then she blocked his number. Now, at this time, my granny was in her late 60s.
She left Al at the Ryans. Damn it, man.
He did not talk to Al. And then I was sad for Al because I was like, Granny, all he wants to do is like, she said, "I ain't got no time for no old man. Ain't nothing worse in the world than just sitting there watching him bump his gums." So then she was just over it. Now, she did tell me that when she walked in the church on Sunday mornings, the deacon's neck still snapped when she walked by. And I believe her. I mean, my granny kept herself up until the very end. She, she said, "I got my hair laid." Her hair was always laid, and she always had her heels on in her little suit. Hey. So, but yeah, she said, every Sunday those deacons' necks snap when I walk. And I said, well, okay, all right. I can't say that it's not true. You can't say it. Nobody can say she's lying, because if that's the response she felt was happening on Sunday mornings, God bless her. So yeah, my granny was a little bit spunky, and she wasn't with that. She was not with that mess. But a lot of people don't have that that background. And a lot of women, specifically, I mean, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. So I know a lot of women. My great grandfather, his wife was named Katie, and they said he got Katie from the South. A lot of times Southern women were taught to be a little bit more quiet, and just these people in the Midwest and in the East Coast are very spunky, and they weren't putting up with a lot. But Katie just let my grandfather act a fool, my great grandfather act a fool, and I heard he was running around, and Katie was just sitting there cooking. Oh. But yeah, that's not the life that my granny nor my mother. My mom is not with that either. That's why when I went through the situation, Lynn, when my ex-husband cheated, I couldn't even have wanted to stay, because I knew my mom would have whooped my behind. Like, girl, you better she said, because I was like, what am I going to do? And she was like, what were you doing before? You were fine before. Get lit. That he don't make you. And it was just, there was no empathy at all. So I think a lot of times people respond based on what they saw growing up. And that's one of the sisters said that she went and got his child because her husband was doing the same thing. She also was dealing with that,
Yeah, I wonder whose situation came first, because that would explain some things.
What do you mean?
Like, if her situation
Uh-oh.
first, huh?
Lynn Toy said, I saw my mother and her sisters beat up the woman my stepdaddy was cheating with. They used to say a piece of man is better than none. I've heard that too. Yeah. Woo!
That was a different time.
No, women are still getting beat up. Women are still.
No. I'm saying to the piece of man part.
Oh yeah. That's definitely a different time.
That was a different time.
Because women aren't really trying to hear the piece of man now. But women
they don't want a whole man nowadays. They damn sure ain't taking the piece.
They are, but women are still. You can still catch a beat down messing with the wrong person's man. You now. I will say this. I'm gonna be honest. I like to think of myself as an upstanding woman. I feel as though I am. However, when a woman knows you exist and purposely tries to go after what you have, it can bring out the whoop ass that may reside deep down within your spirit. It can, and I'm saying that I definitely do not condone fighting, do not condone violence. However, Mo, you probably remember, I was trying to get.
I remember.
Let's just say, that I was not
and
able.
You had a little crew with you.
I'm just saying, like, when you as a woman, when you are bold enough, it's one thing if a woman doesn't know, but if a woman is bold enough to tell you why she slept with your man, then she ought to be bold enough to catch a fade.
Take these hands.
It's coming her way. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I was out with my husband one time here, and I was sitting on his lap, right? At Studio City with the cigar lounge. I was sitting on his lap, and a woman was staring in his face. And I was like, does she not see me here? Does she need me to have but okay. Yeah. Sometimes people need a reminder, I think. But no, I don't condone that. And I definitely think the man is the problem. But, two things can be true.
That part
can be true. But yeah, sometimes you must bless them with the laying on of hands. Because trust me. Whew. Yes. Moving on. Moving on. Yes. Where's the juice in? Is Wayne Brady gonna have to? You remember that skit on Dave Chappelle with Wayne Brady? Yeah,
but people are invested, man, and everyone gets that, where the anger comes from, and your first, the first thing you feel is, the first emotion or whatever. Everybody understands that. Actually, investment. I mean, not investment like money, but your heart, your time. You know what I mean? All this stuff, and then someone comes along. Now, if they're entertaining it, that's something else. Then but these people just flirting with people, knowing that they're married or whatever the situation is.
Yeah. Well, no, I was this woman. I don't believe that was the case. I don't believe she knew him. She was just staring. She thought he was a good-looking man, and is, but. There are certain situations where, yes, you're absolutely right. And that the man has done something and will have you look
in certain situations, you're just there, and women have the whatever it is, they'll pick up on it before you do as the man. When you're in the room with your woman, and who's paying attention.
On it, just acting like you don't know.
No, I mean, you might catch it later, but she'll catch it before you do. I know that. Because I think they go in the room seeing who's going to stay a little too long. And then, you know, I've been in this uncomfortable. Now, I have been some situations where I seen it and I act like I didn't.
Right. That part. That's what I feel like. I feel like you saw that.
But what am I supposed to do? I'm looking away. What am I supposed to do?
We do notice everything. But you know what? Men don't notice anything.
We don't.
Because men are, anyway. Yeah. Where's the juice said? Mo is right. 9 times out of 10, I have no idea what's going on.
And the women bring it to your attention and you see, be like, oh, okay. Hey, we was at breakfast or brunch or lunch somewhere and somebody, it was just weird. That was like,
now Mo and I are sitting. We went to thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I'll never forget that. And I'm like, now we just friends, but girl, you don't even know that. And like, she wasn't even looking at me with the order. She was just staring at him, and she knew. I was like, what? Lady.
It was like, no, it's a good thing that you and I, because she don't know who.
That's one of the situations I would have been, you know, girl, like what? Because it was rude. It was rude. The lady wouldn't even. She was taking our order, and she would ask me, but she was making eye contact, and there was no way she could have known. Like everybody that's a couple does not go into a place with a bunch of PDA and all that. Like, why would you even just come at now? I've been out before where he'll be like, "Oh, this is just my friend," right? And that's cool. But even I was with one of my other. I was with one of my other guy friends. We were going into a event, and this guy was like complimenting me in a little bit of. He was complimenting my physique in a bit of a crass way, and the guy that was with me was like, "Now see, if you were with me, then I got to fight." Like what? And he was just being rude. I'm like, how do you know that we weren't together? People are rude.
But remember the guy actually said something to me? Or he said it to you, but I heard it.
That was bad. That was the worst one.
And that would, when I
thought it was going down.
And these are some big dudes at the bar. I ain't gonna tell you.
Thought it was going down.
And I was like, but I said something because I was like, nah, I said something. And Chris was like, no, Mo. And then we sat down and I don't know how, it was a while later. Homeboy walked over to me while I'm sitting down over me.
He did.
And I had a bottle. I was drinking a beer. I'm slowly grabbing it. I'm like, okay, if I hit him in the head, I could run out this back door. And he actually came and apologized.
Yeah, because he was wild. That was wild. That was wild.
That was great. Yeah. That would have been all bad.
Leave people alone until you know what the situation is the moral of this story. But we've gotten off track.
I'm sorry.
We've gotten off track. No, it's my fault. I started telling my granny story. We got off track. But I did want to share something funny just to give us a little laughter.
Woo.
My uncle, you guys know my uncle is 51 and my uncle came out of the closet at 51. Now he is 67. 66 or 67. This is what he texted me today. Are y'all ready for this?
Hold on. Let me brace myself, guys. I'm sure I'm not.
It just came in today. It came in today. Now, my uncle, first of all, what?
Nothing. Did
you say, is he pregnant?
Okay.
This is my uncle, okay? That's my uncle. He's 66. He doesn't look 66, right? No, he does not look 66. I will give him that. He does not look 66. However, yes.
I'm glad I couldn't really see that because something told me that wasn't. I could see a silhouette or something. That kind of looked bad.
No, that's just him and his workout.
Oh, the pose is still. Anyway, go ahead.
He does have on a waist trainer. All right. So I did have to cue the music. Thank you, Tamasha. Cue the music to read his statement. Today it came in at 146. He says, the Dems did that shit. I had a feeling they were going to bring out Olivia Pope from Scandal. They went over the top and brought out President Fitzgerald Grant too. When Olivia hit the platform and anointed us as Olivia Popes, I lost my mind. Then when Fitzgerald joined her for a selfie, I ripped my clothes and ran through the streets yelling, "We ain't going back buck naked." Yep.
What as I thought it was going to
be. Where's the juice of that waist trainer is nasty work. It is.
The game that we played was way worse than that. So that wasn't that bad.
He ran through, and I didn't even respond to that. I don't even know what you say as a niece to a 66-year-old person that texts you that. So I just hearted it and just kept going and kept going. And then he kept texting. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, let's go back to the show. So let's go back to the show. So today, tonight's episode of Family Empire really focused on that situation with Keisha, which we kind of felt like this is probably why they got the show because there's so much to that. Now, I also think it was interesting that I like the way that there's respect there because Jermisha, who we chatted with last week, it did, did you guys see the scene where her mom checked her for saying that about payday?
Your tone, right.
Yeah, your tone for that. And I think, I'm with that. Like I still have the most immense respect for my mom. Anyone at that age room, even though I'm way grown, I'm always going to be respectful. And I feel like that's important. So I like seeing that, that's done because we're talking about money and the family is saying, yes, we appreciate the fact there's money, but please watch your tone and please be respectful. And money is not everything. Right. And so I like that, the fact that her mom did check her, on that. I thought that was good. It seems like it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I feel like Jermisha's plan for wanting to do this development, it may be more what she wants than what the rest of the family wants. So at this point, I feel like they just need to sell the land and do what Miss Oscarine has said.
Right.
Yeah.
Which seems like that's going to happen anyway.
I feel like
you never know.
When Miss Oscarine had clapped, when they started fussing,
right,
I was like, yeah, they about to she about to tell them to give her kids that money so they can pay off their mortgage.
And to me, that's the disrespect. Because you're talking about long-term investments, what they're talking about now with the rental, they might not be able to see theirs. Give them theirs.
Give them theirs.
That's like, just stop it with the, I get it, but when you get whatever they hand down to you, then you do with that what you want to, but give them theirs, man. Stop doing that.
Yeah, and I think as Jermisha, we talked about, she could find another piece of property. Now, the property's not going to be that cheap. It could be cheap. She said Texas is big and has a lot of land, and it may not be that cheap, but she could still, she's a broker. She has the ability to do that. And she's also very brilliant. So she could find something else. She could find.
Stop jumping the line, man.
Yeah. Stop jumping the line. Yes, I agree. Her and her husband, they can create something, and they can still do a legacy, a monument to their grandparents. You can start it now and still name it after their legacy. It doesn't have to be that particular land.
Yeah, that's don't do the G1s like that. Don't do that. Don't be respectful and wait your turn and wait to them to hand. Maybe they would wait to see what they do with it first, but to do it to your grandmother and put all that pressure on her at her age is another form of disrespect to me.
Yeah, I agree. Like she said what she said. She said what she wanted to do with it. Leave it alone.
Yeah, like stop being. I don't like pushy people. I don't like don't especially when it comes to situations like that, because the people are telling you, if you, especially now that you know, and it's been said out loud, like if we do the rental, it's not, the money isn't instant. It's going to be a minute, and
it's not even guaranteed. It's not even guaranteed.
And there you go. It's like, man, let them people, if you respect your mother, then respect her. Your grandmother, pardon me, respect her wishes and let her do what it is. And if they want to turn it over to you, that's the biggest thing we keep missing. If the G1s really want to do it, let your grandmother decide. And if they want to do it, then let them talk to them. Don't talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Oscarine is there, and she said it's, at the end of the day, it's hers. And what she had said should be what she said. She said what she said. Like, leave it alone. I do agree with Nola that it seems like it's something bigger for Jamisha. I feel like because she's always also alluded to the fact that she's the broker and I think she wants to be able to do something to prove herself. And
she's a grandchild too.
Yeah, I think she wants to really like have something that's spearheaded by her. And this is not it. This would not be it. There's also other properties, but you could always buy something and do the work to create it and then honor your grandmother and grandfather's legacy, you know?
That's it. Stop leaving Monet out of stuff too. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't nobody ain't nobody think about that hairdresser. Let Monet have that.
Monet just in there bumping and curling. She not bothering nobody.
Y'all ain't thinking about that spot. Let her have that. God, leave, man. Because some people they don't want you to have it just because they don't want you to have it. And they not doing nothing with it. Or the fact that you can prosper from it, I don't know, man. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know what? Nola said Granny didn't even agree to anything until Nicole spoke to her. It seemed like Nicole has they call her the Miss Oscarine II, or she has the closer relationship, or maybe that, I don't know. But it feels like they need to leave it be and move on. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons we can take away from this, is that family legacy is not, it's not solely about finances. It's also about, when you see the sisters around the table cooking, that's legacy to me. When you see all the aunties around there cooking and shucking and peeling, that is legacy, because, and then the children get to be around that. That's beautiful. There are a lot of people that don't have, families that have that much, that many generations around. So that's a blessing. And I think that we have as a people have started to only appreciate and speak about money. And it's not, the money wasn't there. Oscarine and her man built that with not a lot of money, but it was a lot of faith and a lot of hard work. It wasn't about money, it was about their family. So
does what's the name come off? I'm not a fan of nonchalant people.
Yeah.
I can't be with a nonchalant person. Nicole comes off very nonchalant.
She does.
And even when she hugs people, she don't look at them. I want y'all to pay attention to this. She look away.
Very matter of fact.
I couldn't, but as we go on, I think she's starting to open up. It's layers to her. And I think that's the first couple layers or something.
People like that, to me,
by the time you get to it, you feel like you don't even want it no more.
I know a lot of women like that. They are focused on what they want. They're very self-absorbed, or at least from what we see. She didn't come off that way in our interview, but from what we see on TV, she's very much focused on what she wants. Very much like even the comment that she made to Chris, I didn't want to have to fire you. Like, just very self-absorbed and focused on you and no one else, and not very empathetic to anyone else but themselves. Those tend not to be my people either. But I do know a lot of us are like that, because we're always focused on what we want, and it's focused on our bottom line. And it's also, when there's when there's a family, you know what I watched last night, Daughters on Netflix. And I just want to say, I forgot to start out with this. But if you guys haven't, I think I'm going to do a review of that. But if anyone has not watched that, I would suggest you watch it because it's a beautiful documentary about daughters that grow up with their fathers in prison. But when a father is away, when a father is emotionally absent, be it physically or just in the house but not engaged, it creates women, daughters especially, that overcompensate for that. So you see a lot of type A personalities. I got to be the smartest. I got to be the loudest. I got to be because I'm trying to like shine and I'm trying to show out because I didn't ever feel really cared for and protected. And that's the case with a lot of women. That kind of creates that over the top, very self-serving personality, right? Nobody was there for me. I've got to do it, right? And it is complex, and there's usually somebody very soft underneath that, but it's kind of difficult for you to be soft and sensitive underneath when you are insensitive towards everybody else. That's the problem.
Man, I know a few people like that.
I know a lot,
and they're good business people. Like they're gonna get the job done, but on a personal level, it's just
no, on a personal level, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so that is our wrap up on Family Empire. Let's get to Love and Marriage Huntsville, because now it's just about the shenanigans and I Love and Marriage Huntsville is unserious. Okay. So I'm not, Family Empire. I'm like engaged and I'm like, I was like, we need to have a therapist come on and talk about this. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Everybody on this cast is on some BS. Y'all hear me? Everybody except perhaps Stormy and Courtney. Everybody else, y'all with the shenanigans. So let's go. Let's get to it. What's up, Edna? Welcome. All right, so let's move into Love and Marriage Huntsville this past episode.
Yes, actually, I just seen it. I had to catch it. I couldn't catch it. I forgot. I forgot what happened Saturday. I missed it, but I just caught it when we at the end of what's the name. I watched it
at the end after Family Empire.
Yes,
that's a good idea for those of you that might not necessarily watch it on Saturday. Before every Friday, they usually do a new episode of Family Empire and then the Saturday episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So watch that and then tune in here at 10 so we could talk about all of it. Yes. So let's start with Kimmy. Like, okay, because I put out a clip. I put out a clip that basically was showing Mel talking to, in fact, let me play this clip. Let's just play this and let's talk about it.
In a situation like this, the whole Sonny, Moses, Destiny triangle, right? I hear Tisha and Kimmy, but to be honest, I think both parties have fought, right? I don't think there's nobody totally innocent in the situation. You know what? I wonder if some of these women are triggered because they haven't been able to put a face maybe with what their men are doing.
Yeah.
And then they're seeing your face and they feel like you took him from her.
I hope not, but it seems like it's giving a little bit of that.
Giving a little bit of triggered, ain't it?
Yeah. But I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna let you start. I'm gonna let you go because I'm just like, girl.
She's messy. I like her, but I don't like. She's messy.
This whole season, Melody is acting so different this season. I don't like it. It's like she's trying to be a puppet master and a producer.
That's what I see, and none of it's gonna make her look bad. That's why I don't like the producer hat on her. If it is, it's gonna be slightly, not much.
And it's kind of because I like Melody, but I feel like at this point, I don't even feel like she should be on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I feel like she should be on another show, and she should just be a producer on this show because she don't like none of the girls.
Right.
She is living to make them miserable, but I will say, I can't even really fault her for not liking him because she went through a hurtful situation and now she's getting back at everybody, right? So
were they not supportive of her?
well, she said in that clip, another clip on last week's show, that Kimmy said that she would never call the girl that Martell was working with a side chick, which is wild.
I got you.
She definitely was. Now, I was told by some of the XO family to stop calling her coleslaw, so I'm gonna not call her that. But
here's the thing, like it's it's a few messy people on here.
It's everybody to me is messy on the show.
I can say the one lady. I thought it was two different women because she had a wig on one shot, then she didn't on the other one. It threw me off. She had long hair and short hair. It threw me off for a second. I realized it was the same lady because the man never changed. That's the only reason I knew.
Which one was this?
Maurice's wife.
Kimmy.
Yeah, at one shot she had long hair.
Yeah.
Then she had a wig, and then she had a short.
The natural.
It was confusing. And I was like, the only reason I knew is because he was the same. I was like, oh, that's okay. I thought it was a whole nother lady. Anyway, it was another lady I ain't never seen before. She came in there starting some mess when they was at the brunch thing. It was a lot going on.
So Kimmy changes her wigs, but she also went through breast cancer. She lost some of her hair in chemotherapy. Okay. But this is the thing. Now, somebody raised a good point. Okay. Maurice was married when he and Kimmy met. There's some gray areas. Some people say that she was a side chick. She says that she wasn't. He's been kind of gray about if he was or not. It appears in Huntsville, no one respects marriages. Right? Nobody respects boundaries with starting and stopping. What was interesting to me, like I said, it's hard to have a problem with Melody, but it is over the top. Like she's pouring so much on it. It's a little bit much. It's a little thick. It's hard to swallow, right? But Trish, when is she going to find out that Trish was going to her house to see Martell? What? Because Trish had the nerve to sit there at the table.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all ain't talking about that.
That's what I wanted to. And I understand there's a lot of Melody. I didn't say anything bad about Melody. I just said it was thick this season. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it with the Melody.
We're not going to sit up here and fight with y'all millimeter people and all that.
Yep. We don't want no smoke over here.
Man, I want no. Yeah. We're not going to do that.
Don't do that. We just are talking, and people have to be honest.
We just asking the question.
Yeah, we just.
What was the smoke for that? Because, from what I understand, I mean the time. That's why nobody wants to say really pinpointed time. When you hear him, everybody's stuttering. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the timeline was because they were asking old girl about the timeline she met Kim.
Right.
Ken. Then I started seeing they full of it because
you know what I'm saying?
The timeline was 2019, 2020. She is problematic.
Yeah, but stay away from her, boy. Woo.
Problematic, and he is with the shits because their timeline was conflicting.
And then what did he say? He said when she got back with him, I got off the phone. We stopped.
Yeah, so you were trying to holler at that woman while she was married.
Exactly.
And she was trying to holler at Martell.
Exactly.
Because when I heard that they met on social media and they were having inappropriate conversations, and then she went back to the husband and they stopped, that let us know that she was doing the same thing with Martell. And she was talking about when she with Martell, we already talked about last week how she was like, well, I would definitely have said if I had been with Martell. She's out.
There you have it.
Melly needs to focus on her.
But the husband, I'm letting you know right now, brother, if you focus and get your stuff, you can get your wife back.
You talking about her husband?
Yeah, he can get his wife back.
Well, what? But do he want her back?
He do. I wouldn't, but he do.
He was already cheating. It seemed like both of them were cheating.
Yeah, he found out his cheating wasn't about nothing, and he wanted his family back. But You can't get it back. You might have to wrestle that big dude for it, but you can get it back if you want.
I think Ken is all talking. Well, nah, I wouldn't want to see Ken move. Ken mad. Ken probably.
Listen, that's why I'm trying to be careful what I say. I don't need him trying to punch me in my face.
Everybody, you're right. Even Nell and Chris have questioned again. Everybody on this show, what? The husband said he saw messages from Ken talking about performing.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Like,
it's not love and marriage. It is love and deceit, love and trifling. Love. This is a crazy show, man. This is wild. Melody's interest in Sonny is strange to me. Sonny's excitement about being with the other ladies and trying to force a relationship with them is weird to me. Also,
how could you do that with being as though your situation? How your situation unfolded.
Well, I think Ella's like, well, if I went down, everybody got to go down. My marriage is over. All these other marriages are BS as well.
But what does that say about her? You know what I'm saying? You're going to take everybody down?
I feel like she feels like it's her show. She's executive producer.
But even still, how do you bond with someone if
she's not really into Sonny like that? She can't possibly be. She's not. What I for Sonny, I feel Sonny is obviously a girl who has been an it chick, or at least that's been the way she sees herself for most of her life, right? She lived in a big fish in a small pond. She is expecting more out of this man than he has the ability to give. I feel bad for her because I feel like she's doing so much.
You feel bad for who?
Sonny's getting ready to be embarrassed. Trust me, give it a couple of seasons.
Okay.
Moses is gonna do something crazy. He already was talking to Martell and saying he knows Destiny still wants to be with him. That is a man that is unserious. He was trying to have a baby with Destiny. Now he's trying to have a baby with Sonny. They were trying to get pregnant before they even got married. Like, it's crazy. He is not the man that you fall on a sword for.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. He's not. I'm telling you, he's not the man that you fall on the sword for. You do not fall on the sword for a man that has a business with another woman's child's name, and you think that's cool. And
it was his child. He could maybe.
But that you do. I'm telling. I will put it.
Is she a lawyer?
Who? Sonny?
No, his ex.
No, Destiny.
So, but he been in jail, so I would assume the name Law came from him and not her.
Her son is named Law.
She has a son named Law?
Yes.
A real son or a son they was going to have?
No, her son.
Oh, my bad.
He was going to be the stepdad, I guess.
Oh, I see. I'm thinking.
And they were going to name their other son Justice.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I assumed that was the. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So what's the name of the business?
Justice Law.
Okay, so the Justice was okay.
The supposed the new son, the son they were working on having, Law was her son.
Oh, damn. I can't help you, homie. I tried.
The point is,
I was trying to find some ways.
You cannot fall on the sword for him. That's going to end badly.
We're going to see. Maybe the man changed his ways.
He was messing with Destiny up until almost they got married.
What? Apparently, everybody was messing with somebody up until then.
Obviously, on Love and Marriage Huntsville, no one takes marriage seriously. That is what we have to learn from Love and Marriage Huntsville. No one cares. No one gives a goddamn.
Let me tell you something. After the news I saw about Judge Mathis, ain't nobody safe. Let's get that out there.
It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe.
You do 36 years or whatever it was.
But I said on the post, we all knew that Judge Mathis was just a little too slick.
Now I ain't gonna hold you. They hit things out there in the streets, and you hear whispers, and I will guarantee I wouldn't guarantee, but most likely, especially since she filed,
she was over it. She's
for
years.
and that long, the chances are, he stepped out. Allegedly, allegedly, he stepped out.
I saw that
thing that makes sense. And then I heard the little slick stuff he be saying.
He's too slick. He's too slick. Any husband that talks like that,
yeah,
that wife has got lots of.
Y'all should have never moved out to California.
Please, he was doing that in Detroit. He was doing it in Detroit.
Nah, they had moved to DC. They weren't even in Detroit.
I know, but I'm just saying that you cannot take the pimp out of it.
Yeah. And once they told me one time there was an episode and there was a guy at the defense or whatever. I don't know if he was suing plaintiff or whatever. He had gaiters on, and then Judge Mathis was like, he showed him his gaiters.
Yeah.
Like, time.
You can't take the pimp out of
the judge lift up the robe and show you his gaiters.
You cannot take. You can take the pimp out of Detroit, but you can't. I mean, you can take
the pimp out the D, but not the D out the pimp.
Cannot take the D out the pimp. Can't do it. Can't not do it.
Damn it, man.
Somebody said he was seen with Nicole Murphy. My God. My God.
I wouldn't be too well. Nicole Murphy 10, 20 years ago. Nicole Murphy now, it ain't worth it, brother. Well, it ain't never worth it.
I mean, Judge Mathis, it's worth it for him.
Oh, yeah. It better not be. It better not be for her. God bless.
I mean, it's probably numerous hers. But speaking of that, let's talk about.
He older. He probably left his phone open.
Not Larsa Pippen. You know what? I will not. First of all, he ain't got enough money for Larsa Pippen. Larsa Pippen goes after dynasties. You hear me? You think Larsa wants to deal with a Judge Mathis? Larsa said, my husband was Scottie Pippen. I'm gonna have to get someone better than that. She said that. She said it's gonna.
Yeah. She going for the.
She wild.
Well, you understand, Scottie wasn't making with everybody else. He had a bad contract his whole career.
I don't care. He was still Scottie Pippen. Then she went to Future. She went after Michael Jordan. She went after Michael Jordan's son. And if Michael Jordan had been with it, she would have went after him. Yeah. Larsa's a bad girl.
Damn it, man.
Damn it, man. Girl. But did you see Mel confront Marceau? When I tell you that tickled me.
Yeah.
That tickled me so bad. She said, well, what's going on? I sent some friends over to Black and it was closed. She said, I'm coming after him this week.
The other woman that showed up, I don't know her name, forgive me, y'all. Do not like that lady.
Which one? Nell?
She came in later, not Nell. And
Stormy?
Was that Stormy? I don't know.
She came in with her husband?
No, she came in and she was like, I guess she had an argument with somebody in the previous season, and they was like, you ain't coming in here with all that. And she was like, well, if ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Little short lady.
Who was he talking about, y'all?
Y'all put it in there. Y'all know the lady. She was a little snappy, and she was like, she was getting in an argument with somebody. They showed the clip. And they was like, what? And when she showed up, they was like, I hope you ain't gonna come in here with all that. And she was like, nah. If I have something to address.
Older lady and short.
She wasn't that. She was.
Is she fair skin?
No, she's not fair skin.
Darker skin?
Yes.
Tisha.
Possibly. And she got into it with somebody before at a dinner table. It was all of them at dinner, and she was going.
That was Tisha.
Yeah, that lady.
That's Marceau's wife.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh.
That's Marceau's wife, because when Melody went after Marceau asking about the issues with Black, Tisha was like taking up for him, as she should. That's
and that's when she was like, was that your class, or was that the millimeter? Whatever they
she was like, was it the class or was it your Yeah.
And then what's the name? Checked her.
Yeah, Melody ain't taking no prisoners this season. She's like, I'm about to check these chicks. I'm getting a check on them and a check with them. from and with. Okay.
I like the fact that she was checking her, but I don't like that lady.
You don't like Tisha?
She came in there with that attitude and that mouth. Like, where's somebody talking?
Okay, Tisha was the first couple of seasons. Everybody beat up on Tisha, and now she's just trying to stand up for herself. I like Tisha. I like everybody on the show. I do not understand why Kimmy said she cannot say. I don't understand why Kimmy called Martell a good guy. I'm a little concerned about that. Did you guys hear that? I'm very concerned about why Kimmy would say that Martell is a good guy and she's not going to say he's a bad guy. Martell.
Maybe she meant just good to her. I don't know.
He's not good to. He's not. He's not. I mean, I don't think I'm going to say this. Martell does seem like he would be a fun friend.
Right.
But you can't really like.
But that's all her relationship is to him, right?
Yeah, but you also have to hold people accountable when they're wrong. You can't just be cool with somebody who's cheating on their wife and 4 kids, like, and say, I'm not going to call her a side chick. Yeah, she's a side chick.
Yeah, now that's kind of cheap. It is what it is, man.
And if you're not saying it because maybe, right, everybody has a good side. It's pretty amazing. Everybody has a good side.
There you go.
But to call him a good guy, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
That's a stretch. Now, I can see it if someone said, I know Martell has good in him.
All right. Or he's good to me.
He's good to me sounds a little suspect.
Or he's cool with me.
That sounds like something you say about a man you're dealing with. I don't care about the other guys. I don't care about the other women. Just good to me.
Yeah. Damn it, man.
That is why Mel is not cool with any of them. I get it because of how, right. And then you're right. You cannot call someone a good guy that threatened to put out a revenge tape on their wife. Like, come on. We're not going to call him a good guy. We're going to say, I know that there is good in there. He just has a lot of work to do and he's made a lot of mistakes. He's been wrong a lot. But you don't just say he's a good guy.
No, I was going to actually move. Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
What's happening?
I think somebody asked me about move to Huntsville or something like that.
You were going to move to Huntsville?
I had opportunity to. I didn't do it.
Lord Jesus. Okay.
That's a whole nother thing. I didn't do it.
Yeah, I did not like that. I did not like Kimmy. I don't understand because Kimmy has always seemed very rational. So right. I'm a little concerned as to why there's a lot that they're not saying, right? Because, and it also could be now, according to what I've heard, I don't know if this is true, Kimmy and Maurice have acknowledged to being open to threesomes and different things. I don't know if this is true or not.
What?
Threesomes. A lot of married couples do that.
No, I get that. I just didn't get that energy from. I guess you just never know what people.
You never know what people do behind closed doors.
No one knows where the nose goes when the door's closed.
What?
No one knows where the nose goes when the door's closed. You just never know.
Well, there you go. Yeah. She did say it on the show, I believe. I just hate to say, bring that back up, but I'm not. But sometimes if you don't think that sex is a sacred thing or should only be done between two people, then you may not think it's as big a deal as somebody else may, right? Maybe. I'm just trying to say. Maybe she doesn't think it's such a big deal. I think that Tisha bringing Destiny made sense. I think that Melody bringing Sonny on this trip is Melody in cahoots with Carlos to have a explosive trip at St. Thomas, and I definitely
messy. Obviously, Carlos, but just think about that for a minute. Like that's the messiest stuff I've seen on here.
Yeah, I don't like it. Stuff. I don't like it. And if it's weird because, you know, Kimmy said that I just, this is my problem with the whole thing. Kimmy said that Sonny was nice to her when she was going through chemotherapy, right?
She did.
They also said that Sonny is standing on the fact that she was really not Destiny's friend. But if she was Kimmy's friend, that meant she was trying to befriend the cast. It wasn't just Destiny. She was befriending the cast. And she, you know, if she's hooking up with her outside of the show, right? When she goes to St. Louis and when she comes, then she was her friend. She just keeps saying that she wasn't because maybe she didn't like her. Maybe she felt like she would be better. There are a lot of people, a lot of women that feel like, oh, I would be a better fit for your man than you. That doesn't mean it's right.
Damn, really?
Yes, obviously. Because she set up and talked about how Destiny wasn't taking care of him. That is always, that gives, I'm telling you, any women that feel like that, it's always your words are going to set a trap for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to end up being on the other side of that.
Now to say like, you know, I wish I had someone like that, or that, you know, a little bit, but to actually act on it, and obviously he had to have some participation.
Oh no, a lot of men will take advantage of that, but I don't. The queen said, "Why can't people be nice?" That doesn't mean they want to be your friend. I think that she was friendly with her. I don't think that it was not her being nice. I'm telling y'all, it was past the point of where it would be comfortable for her to do what she did. If you know you want to mess with somebody's man, then don't talk to her. Don't talk to her. Don't be on the phone. Don't talk to her. I'm not riding for anybody. First of all, I'm not even talking about Destiny. I'm talking about Sonny being wrong.
Right.
But I would say that with anybody. I don't, you know, don't do that. But it's if you know you want to mess with somebody's dude, then you have no business having conversation with them.
To be up in their face, you would think you would keep your distance.
That's what I'm saying. Don't be
or not do it at all, really. But
don't do that. And I know a lot of these women have fake friendships anyway, so it's just like that's normal. They do that. They click up and but if you want to deal with somebody's dude, stay out of her face.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
No, not the cheating, but the fake friends and clicking. Why do you think that is?
I think that a lot of women nowadays want to be friends with people because of what they think that it's going to be a good look for them. And I feel like in this situation, Sonny appears to be someone that really felt like she should be on reality TV. And she said that she had aspirations prior. Even the way she really seems to want to be a part of this cast and want to be friends with them, she is doing the most to try. I think she wanted to be a part of the show. I've been around producers that do try to befriend the cast to manipulate them. That still makes you wrong. If you come around, if you work for me and you come around and you're being all nice to me, and then I find out you trying to holler at my husband,
even morally, even if he came on to you, you would think you would have like some type of morals or principles and be like, yo, I get it, and you're an attractive man, but yo, I can't. That, you know.
There is, I mean, women a lot of times feel like they want what they want.
And this is why I told you about me going cold turkey approach, because I know whether it's a job, she want to go to school, she want to start a business, women are going to put themselves in position. You show up and then you see it. They are going, if they want that, they will put themselves in position. Whether it happens or not is something else. So that proves my point. Thank you.
I know. It's funny because a lot of times those producers, I know producers that have tried to befriend, even me being a publicist for, and I won't say the shows because I don't want to, you know, it'll be obvious.
How Candy met her man?
Well, he wasn't a producer. I think he was a camera person or he on the show. But yeah, like, but
you're supposed to quit after that, right? You can't.
Yeah. Well, he became on the show. I think that's Sonny wanted to be on the show. and she wanted to be cool with them ladies. That's why she was doing all that. But it doesn't make sense to how she was trying to befriend everybody but Destiny. That doesn't make sense.
How you think you're gonna be around her circle and not deal with her eventually?
She feels, that's the crazy part, is she feels entitled to it. That's what's wild to me. She feels entitled. When Melody was clown, to me, it was clowning her in her face. Like, do you think that you're triggering them because they probably don't know what their man are doing, and you represent what? So basically, you messing with somebody's man should remind them of what their husbands are doing. And Sonny was like, well, if anybody would be triggered, it would be you. I know Melody wanted to be like, girl, please. Like, because she tried her. It was like, I don't know if Sonny got it, but it was a little bit disrespectful for her to say that. But I mean, everybody being nice, nasty to be on TV. Kudos to Carlos. But they don't take marriage or relationships serious on the show. It's ridiculous.
And I see the clip for the new one that's coming on in Detroit. I think it's Detroit.
Oh, God.
But it looks so produced.
Detroit it
looks produced.
I have a couple of interviews with the Detroit couple. They're younger and in peril.
It don't even look like reality. It looked like a show. It looked, just the preview I saw.
Yeah,
it looked super produced, and I don't think reality TV is supposed to look like that.
This reunion is going to be very interesting. We may have to do a 2-part watch.
Yes,
for that. And actually, I'm thinking that we may do a watch party for the episode that has the clip of my interview with Nell and Chris, because that should be interesting. But I still hate that it's being used as negative, against, because I don't think Nell said anything bad. But I did think Nell having the breakdown in the beginning of she just gives with the kids, and
yeah, something about her just seems familiar. She either sounds like somebody. I kind of like her though.
Yeah, I mean, she's just trying to get in there and stay. She's just trying to stay on TV. I just feel like they trying to stay. I feel like Chris is a little slick. You could just tell he's a.
I'm glad I caught that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chris is
she older than him?
I don't know. I know he's a little slick. And I believe that he was married when they got together.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, it seems as though these people just Huntsville is popping. You hear me? Huntsville is popping. I feel like when they call her Miss Nell, they just trying to shade her a little bit because she's older, and I don't like it. I don't like
all do that, Auntie, and all this other stuff.
They do. Peace, light, love, and light says it's crazy that Destiny thinks she can control friendships. Destiny is a professional victim. You think that she's wrong for being upset with the people for being friends with Sonny? She can't think that because she's friends with Martell. So
yeah, that's a great point.
Goose is good for the game.
That's a great point. You can't. Yeah, but it's like she knew Martell. This is a new person.
That's true. That is true. But it's all for the show. It's all for the show.
These people probably don't even speak to each other unless they tape it.
Yeah. I cannot. And I get it that she knew Martell for years, but the thing is, when a marriage goes like that, people are going to ask you to pick sides. They're going to.
It's like the kids, friends. You got to divide. You know how the kids go one way or one. That's how the things get divided. That's how friends are sometimes.
Yeah.
Not Mel. Be cool.
Mel says she never heard of Destiny before the show. I don't. Who? You know what? Everybody on there is a little. Everybody has a little something, but regardless of it, I think she can't be mad at them for being friends with Sonny. I probably would keep my distance if I were her, but you can't be mad at them for being friends with Sonny, and you you smiling in Mel's face and Martell. So it's kind of like, can't.
Trish and Martell's situation is going to really, really all the way come out.
I really hope it does, because I feel like how dare she sit there and say and talk about Destiny and Sonny, answer Mel's questions,
right.
knowing that she was trying to come to her house. That pissed me off.
Because she denied going over to Martell's. You saw that, right?
Yeah, but she also said we never made it to the house. So you were trying to.
Because you saw old boy raise an eyebrow, and then he's trying to defend her, but dog, you just got to put it together.
He has been trying to defend her from the jump.
Come on, man. He gonna find out that it ain't gonna work. I'm telling y'all right now. Compare, you gonna see homie. It's gonna be bad. I'm sorry, y'all. He gonna take it bad too. He gonna want to fight. He gonna want to fight.
Destiny at least talks to Aaron. Whoa! If Destiny talks to Arian, she needs to stay away from Melody. People need to respect boundaries.
Melanie is a producer. She gonna let him fight.
She gonna let him fight.
Oh man,
I don't like it. I
don't let your baby daddy up like that.
I don't like none of this. This show they off the chain. This vacation, I don't know what Kimmy, Tisha. It's just all bad. It's all bad.
And there's good friends that go on vacation. 3 of them that don't come back speaking. There's a whole bunch of people. Ain't nobody coming back. You know how that go.
They gonna come back. It's gonna be time for the reunion. It's just gonna be time for the reunion.
And there it is.
Because that trip is the worst. And they know in order to get people away, because see, Tisha and Marceau are like, they're married. So really a married couple supposed to have each other's back. You take everybody down there without their husbands, nobody has their back. They all gonna turn on each other.
And then you heard what they say. Where they going at? Where they going?
St. Thomas.
What goes on in St. Thomas stays in. Man, I wish somebody would say some. Look, you better say that quietly somewhere. Ain't nobody going nowhere. What?
What did you say? What did you say? What?
Man,
I'm gonna book my ticket too.
Right. Right.
You better
like Mom just pulled up in the Uber.
The whole Trish thing is underhanded and calculated by Stormy, Destiny, and Tisha. What? I need you to explain that.
Yeah.
Explain that. That's I didn't explain that piece, Love and Light, because Stormy, Stormy is the one that brought it up, the fact that Tisha and Martell obviously had some type of weird connection.
But they kept bringing it up.
Well, she kept lying. She kept lying, and she was making weird faces. She was making weird faces that made it apparent that she was lying.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think
then you know what? It would not have even been a problem if she got upset because Martell tried to act like he didn't know her. Martell actually was keeping a G. Like,
that's what she was supposed to do.
That's what she was supposed to do. Martell's like, you were married, I was married. We were flirting in the DMs. I don't know you and you don't know me. But she had the nerve to be like upset and offended because Martell didn't acknowledge that they were trying to mess around while they both were married. Where did they do that at?
Trying to mess around. Any dude that did like that, they messed around.
I'm just saying they both. She is out of order, and bold with it. She's out of order. She is out of order.
Yeah, it's gonna be all bad. And yes, the husband does still want her back.
You think the husband wants her back?
Yeah, he wants his family back.
I don't know if he wants her back or he just don't want to see her with Ken.
Possibly, but I mean that might make it even, But I think he wants his family back. He came to Atlanta. He found out
they've been apart for so long. He don't care about that.
Then he done went back.
He don't care about that. He just don't like the fact that another man's in the house with them kids.
Now, hey, I can get with that. But if you
And
don't want to know more,
Marceau told him he need to tell the man thank you for raising his kids.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'd just be like, you respect them and just let them live their life, brother. But I think he won it back.
Marceau better be quiet before he ends up in the same situation.
That part.
But I did appreciate him being honest with the gentleman. Like, if a man is if you're not there and somebody else is picking up the slack.
Yeah, that sounds like some cool stuff to stay until it's you.
Facts.
You know,
I think Marceau doesn't think that it could ever happen to him.
And that's the thing.
He really does think he's better than most.
I can tell by the way they interact together. Like he
thinks he's beyond everybody else on the show.
Yes.
But I have a feeling that Melody is coming for him.
Even the way he looks, he has this thing over his face. It's like
condescending. He's constantly condescending to everybody. Even his own brother.
Yeah, he's like the evil brother.
And he just looks older than Maurice. I just can't understand the younger brother. That's crazy.
He does.
Yeah. What are your predictions? Who do you see? I'm telling you, I don't know if it's this season. It's probably not. It's probably going to be a couple seasons down the road. I am not giving Sonny and Moses 2 years.
If it does, it'll be on Moses. But I think to save face, they're going to hold on to it. I think somebody else's marriage is going to be on the rocks.
Who is that?
I don't know. It's just going on. I think people have had enough, and we're seeing all these things being unfolding with marriages, and people just finally realizing that, look, I might have another 40 left, 35, 40, whatever it is, and I'm not happy here. I need to go find happiness. And it ain't here, because I tried this for 20, 30 years, and it ain't here.
Well, ain't nobody been married for, I think, 20, but that so out of the marriages, you guys put a 1 in the chat if you think that Marceau and Tisha are going to have some dismantling of their marriages on.
These programs have been known to break up a lot of people.
It's not the programs. The programs expose the issues already happening.
That's what I mean.
Do y'all think Marceau and Tisha would who thinks Marceau and Tisha?
He'll do it.
If you think it would be Marceau and Tisha, put a 1. If you think the marriage that's most in peril could be Maurice and Kimmy, put 2. I don't think anybody. Stormy and Courtney are solid.
Yes, I believe that.
Trish and Ken are not even married. Chris and Nell been married for 30 years, with a bunch of stuff going on in the mid.
Or that lady that
really? You think Kimmy and Maurice? Wow.
Damn, really? I didn't expect that.
Moses and Sonny will only stay together safe. Ain't enough saving face in the world. Ain't enough saving face in the world. They gonna stay for a while, but this man, see, I'm telling you, Moses recently came off vacation, and he's used to moving around, and he's happy to have the it girl for a while. But the way you do it, it don't never. How you get him is how you lose him, and she thinks that she's so much better. I'm telling you.
I don't know how much time this brother's done, but
10 years.
I know when guys come home, like, depending on how long, they're very appreciative of things. And they're very appreciative of things, and a lot of other things that would bother them is not a big deal. A lot of stuff, when all your privileges are taken away and you're thinking about daily survival, a woman, like, all these things really mean extra to you because you know what it's like not to have. And if you had a good time before then, and then you get in that position and no one's writing, or maybe people are, and you're around all men, for 10 years, then you get out. I think men have a different appreciation for life. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Okay, I'll take that, but I also want to add a couple of points. Okay. First point, Moses is used to having a lot of women. He's a good-looking guy and knows it, right?
Okay.
Now he's getting ready to be on TV, which makes women come even harder, right?
Okay.
And he's on TV with a wife that a lot of people are not going to respect that marriage because of how he got with her. So there are a lot of women that are like, well, hell, you was playing around with them and her. Why they're not going to take him and Sonny seriously because of how they got together. So I think that you add the TV element into it, the fact that he's going to be a lot more of a target because of that. And men continue to get, as men age, a lot of times if they're good looking, they continue to be wanted, right? Women, the older they get, married, nobody, somebody may want to sleep with them, but ain't nobody actually just trying to take them off the market like that and be with them. She's trying to get pregnant. I don't know.
We're gonna see what unfolds.
We're gonna see what unfolds.
Bless you. They're gonna stay face even if there was an issue. They're gonna hold on long as
for a while, but then you can't. The way that cast is set up, as soon as there's cracks in the armor, somebody gonna tell it.
Got you.
Somebody gonna tell it.
Got you.
God's Design said Maurice has a very condescending tone towards Kimmy. Maurice and Marceau are two sides of the same coin, but I think Maurice is a lot more rational, just like I think Kimmy is, is more rational. But I don't know. I think they're okay because I feel like I don't see that marriage ending because I feel like they both are level-headed with it. And I do think that Maurice can be condescending. I think that his drinking is an issue. That's all. Obviously, there's some type of issue with him saying, "I don't think you can help me with it." He is condescending, but I don't think Kimmy is as sensitive to it. I think she knows what she wants and she's there for a reason. So I don't see her being really hurt by his energy. Where I see Tisha being more hurt by Marceau's words. Marceau's words bite.
He seems to talk at her. His brother Maurice seems to talk to her a little bit more better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dolly Aya says he doesn't know how to handle a relationship, so she will be dealing with a lot early. I think she's gonna be dealing with a whole lot, and I just don't think that brother just does not give me settle down vibes. And I feel like sometimes a man will see what you'll do and then he won't respect you for it. The way that he was laughing and talking about he know Destiny still wants him and playing around like he still could have both of them, that told me all I needed to know about him. And he and Destiny have that history.
Okay. Hey.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it's gonna last.
We'll wait till the newness wears off, and that's when we're gonna really see.
Till the newness wears off, when the money, is because according to him and her, because even his reasons for getting with her were like it was a better look. She had her business together and all that, but when times get hard, people start seeing what's really there. Are you really there for the right reasons or not?
Right.
Will Black open back up, or will the furniture tax?
I've never heard, baby. I don't live in Alabama. I don't know. That's different.
That's different. I think the way it was explained was weird, but I mean, maybe there's something going on. We know that we do know because I went and interviewed the guy that had an issue with Marceau. There are people in Huntsville that don't really care for Marceau. And so I think that he is dealing with probably some chickens coming home to roost.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting next week. But like I said, this is all unserious. I feel very differently about Family Empire because I think those people are actually trying to like work on their family and put, that's real. Those are real. These people are trying to be famous and trying to get, and the marriages are just not. Huntsville, people say Atlanta has a bad reputation for relationships. I would not suggest going to Huntsville because if you do, your spouse will not get a divorce. They will just start cheating on you. And it just seems like everybody just kind of cheats. And this girl is living with a dude, married to somebody else, and it's okay on the show. This is wild. This show is wild. Martell had a whole baby while on the show married to someone else. Other people are
I don't even know.
on it. Like, it's crazy.
I don't even know how you brothers pull that off. I guess you just pull it off. I guess you got willing participants. I guess one willing participant.
I'm with you, Sunny Rain. My pH balance needs to stay intact as well. That is wild. Like, these people are that is you people sliding in people's DM. And then I did not appreciate that line that Martell said about Destiny's son looking like him. How he looked like his Uncle Martell. How'd that happen? That was not even a funny joke.
Right.
The way they do on this show, we don't know. I was like, is it true? Is it what? You just don't know.
I slid in somebody's DM one time. I'll never do that again.
What happened?
She just didn't respond.
Was it delicious?
Hell no. No, this is way before. No, this was I don't even think it was it Facebook? When I was on Facebook? It might have been early. No, it was Instagram. Early Instagram. That first year was and I didn't
sure it wasn't delicious.
No, I'm 1000% it wasn't. No, I would never do that. I'll never do that. I wouldn't do it to no celebrity. This was some chick. She just, I don't know. I thought wrong.
Well, there.
She just and then I went to go years later. I was like, you know what? Because she had disappeared. I ain't seen no more on my timeline. Then she just popped up. And I went to go to check the messages just to see if my message was still in there. It was. I was like, I want to erase this. So
was it red?
Huh?
Was it red?
I can't remember. I don't even remember her name. I would have to go back. But I was like, hey, something. I was like, you know, I like to get the note, something like that. She stopped liking all my pictures after that. I was like, well, this don't work.
Yeah, she was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I never slid in any DMs. And then some of them, if people that were in my DMs, some I responded to, others I just act like I did not see.
Yeah, I see the ones I get. I was hey. I told you about one recently. I'm like, hey.
I feel like this show I have learned about the XO family. There are some very aggressive women in the XO family. Y'all are wild. And you know what? A lot of people have left this channel and gone to your channel, which is cool. But it's funny because women are so there. I didn't realize that there are so many women that, like, when they see something they want, they are going to go after it by any means necessary. It's like they do not take it as just somebody to watch and enjoy. It's like, I want that person. It's crazy. So Godspeed. And I thank the runs of you that have stayed, but there are, like, I think almost like 30 people. And I was like, wow, these women really
30 people that did what?
They left the channel. They were like, to go to your channel.
First of all, you can't do both.
I don't know. I guess they only were here because of you, but it's okay. That means that that's where they're supposed to be.
That's why my numbers went up.
Yeah, I was like, but that is, they left the channel because they probably tune in just to see you.
Well, I'm building. I ain't posting as much as we. I'm working on. I got to drop something tonight. Actually, I thought I dropped it, but for some reason, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, it's supposed to drop at midnight, right?
No, but I got to drop it a little bit early so to be there and I could work out. But for some reason, it ain't loading up. So I don't know. When we get off, I got to try it again.
Did you say so you could work out?
I said so it could work out.
Oh, I thought you were.
If it was any, nice. Trying to work out any kinks, but I got a whole feature. It's like 30 something minutes long. I'm trying to drop it. Anyway.
Yeah, it takes longer with the longer ones.
Something.
Yeah, but no, the women were, especially when you first came on, I was getting hit every week with long messages about why you were supposed to be with them. But I mean, I respect it. I mean, I guess you got to shoot your shot, man. Hey, before I got married, I never did. Edna said I wanted Mo to meet my niece. Whew. All right. Well,
and I don't even get into
well, but in any case, this has been an interesting night. Both episodes were crazy. I think that next week, when Love and Marriage Huntsville, the ladies go to St. Thomas, is going to be even
It's
worse.
going to be like what we just saw with the what's the name family. It's about to turn up, y'all.
It's about to turn up, and we will be there. Also, you guys, on Wednesday, remember we have guests checking in with us. So it's going to be a really good conversation for Dating Diaries. We have Randall, who is from Ready to Love Miami, is coming on, and a couple other people. So we'll have a full panel on Wednesday to talk about dating and relationships. And I'm going to try to get us a therapist for next Thursday, because
Thursday or Friday?
Next Friday, because I feel like we need to have somebody.
We do. We really do. Yeah, we do. I think it's needed now. It's needed.
Yeah, I want to have a therapist speak to the situation happening on Family Empire. And then you guys look out, because I do have an interview with two of the couples from Detroit that will drop this week. And then I also am going back to my conversation just on some of the articles. I just wrote I had an article on Basketball Wives, Jennifer Williams, and her young. Did you see that? Her 30-year-old.
Yeah, that is a interesting. I've been kind of following that. It's been coming on my feed. Very interesting. Jennifer, man, do me
a favor. Watch Carlos's interview with the two of them.
You know what? I got to do that.
And then we'll talk about that, because I definitely want to ask you what you thought about that. But that interview was wild. That poor boy. And I just want to say, guys, last week we did a little. We had some fun, but I noticed as I was listening to the interview with Jennifer that she said that guy, the reason that she was with him, she liked him, is that he resembled Chris Brown.
Oh, then here we go.
And I said,
here we go.
The XO family and I were talking, and we were just saying, this is a special person. And Jennifer is in a relationship with this guy who is actually younger than Chris Brown. He's younger than Chris Brown. Dolly Alice says, I'm not a fan of Chris. Okay. You don't have to be. The rest of us are. But this woman who is 47 is dating a 30-year-old and said he reminded her of Chris Brown.
Yeah, that's the reason to date somebody, Jennifer.
She said, because I'm really big into conversation and communication, and he kept my conversation, and he's so mature. But yet when you hear him talk, he is not mature. It was horrible. It was horrible. But
him trying to explain his situation on why he needed the money when he was talking to her. I don't know if you ever seen that.
I did.
And the way he was explaining, you knew he was lying. The
way he tries to explain the situation about his ex was crazy.
Yeah, restitution, and you had ain't nobody paying that. Man, we don't get out of here with all that.
He's 30 though. That's a baby. She done better trying to actually date Chris Brown. Probably not.
Unfortunately, she's a billboard for herself. Everybody know what that is.
Yeah.
When she come around, what she's expecting, and you got to keep that up, fellas. When you meet,
I said, first of all, he don't owe any more money in restitution.
That's my point. It wasn't for he's a, we'll talk.
Yeah. Chris Brown. She met him when he was 29, and then she said that she didn't even think about it. She didn't even think about his age, girl. When he's sitting up there looking he looks like he's 29.
All right.
But anyway, yes. So that I want to talk about that. I wrote an article about that and some other things. So you guys tune in for that. But yeah, next week Wednesday, Dating Diaries with our guests. And then, of course, Friday back here for recap. And then I will see you guys throughout the week. And then, of course, check out Moe's channel. He's doing fragrances and all types of fly.
We got a house tour. I got some content I'm shooting tomorrow. I'm getting busy. I'm going to start to drop twice a day for about a month. And I mean, twice a week. Then we'll go on this week. I'm building, man. Give me, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Any of the ladies that need to leave and go,
Nah. First of all, there's it's no leaving. If y'all want to come over,
but it's not us, it's them. So it's like that's crazy.
Well, my thing is, I'm here too. I'm not going. If anything, this is more personal. All of this is live. All that is like pre-production, and I'm pre-recorded. Like I won't be doing live stuff for a minute, and I still don't even know what I would do live unless we would do, like we were talking about doing the fashion thing.
Yeah.
I might, something like that or whatever, but I'm going to be a minute before. This is where it becomes more personal. I can answer your questions live here, and we can communicate. I'm not going anywhere. Let's Christal get rid of me. I'm not going anywhere, y'all. This is more.
There's nobody getting rid of you. We are locked in. And
the other thing is a side thing that Christal been trying to get me to do before this. I just had to figure out what I wanted to do, and she's been gracious enough to share, some stuff with me on here, and you guys welcome me. I totally appreciate that. But what I don't want you to do is leave, because I'm here. And I don't have my pajamas on there.
I should write an article about J-Lo, because real quick, what you think about that?
I've seen this coming.
Yeah, we'd all see this coming.
But the funny, you could tell he had enough. He's like,
but why did he go back for a second time?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Why did
it
both
must have been something. But when I seen they were coming from somewhere, and he opened the car door for her.
He slammed it.
When I seen that, I was like, yeah, it's the countdown. 5, 4, 3.
They said they've been separated since April.
Well, explain to Judge Matthew, because his wife just put that in less than 30 days ago. Hers was July something.
J-Lo and Ben been separated since April, but Judge Mathis' wife, she said, I'm gonna get these kids gone, and I'm about to get out of here. I'm enough of this. Enough.
Why do I think it's his phone or the girl showed up at the house? I'm telling you, all dudes they mine. The phone, I'm telling you. He went and took a shower. She done picked it up.
Some young girl is tired. Judge Mathis' wife is tired. I'm tired for her. Because I could tell when he be up on that bench just a flirting with them younger. I'm sorry.
I saw something on the shade room and I had to laugh at it. It was like, he probably caught up crackhead.
Because he would always be talking about, we like, Judge Mathis, stop it. That's crackhead behavior. I know a crackhead when I see one exactly African. Exactly. I'm just like, you just sound like a dope boy from Detroit.
Anybody that still wear gators and want you to see their gators and show you he on some balls.
Nina says, I knew Mathis was creeping when he started painting his hair black.
You know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well,
not wearing all these young boy clothes. Ain't nothing but you. Hey, heads up. When your spouse starts going through a midlife crisis and start wearing younger people clothes, style clothes.
I buy my husband's clothes, but
you buy them. I'm saying once he start buying them.
If he starts buying them, I'm out. Hey, I was gonna tell you. So, we'll call you. We're gonna go to a fight party, so you should come.
First of all, who was fighting? Because
Floyd Mayweather.
Huh?
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather ain't fighting.
Yes, he is.
Who? Floyd Mayweather's not fighting.
No, I don't know. I have to ask Adrian. Hold on.
When you said that, I was like, she must have meant the game, but Floyd Mayweather ain't fighting.
Yes, he is.
What's the name ain't fighting until they would have did the weigh-in today. Tyson ain't fighting until November. Mayweather ain't fighting.
Floyd Mayweather looks sharp as he prepares for his rematch against Gotti in Mexico.
And what date is that?
16 hours ago. The press conference was today. Yeah.
What?
Floyd Mayweather versus John Gotti III.
Oh, this is an extra. Man, that ain't no fight. That ain't no real fight. That's some fake. Man, Floyd don't even fight no more. That's an expedition. That ain't no real.
So I guess you say you don't want to hang out with us. That's what it sounds
Nah,
like.
I don't want to see. I mean, I'm thinking a fight. Even I don't even want to see Tyson fight.
Yeah, it's Saturday, August 24th, live on something.
Exactly. It ain't on exactly.
Yeah, it's happening tomorrow.
See, how badly it.
Mexico. He's fighting in Mexico City.
All that is bad. It's an expedition fight anyway. It ain't a real fight.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
he gonna get the bag like a real fight.
Well, anyway, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do tomorrow night. And then Sunday, I think I'm just going to hang out with Zuri on Sunday.
Where y'all doing that at, the fight?
I'll text you.
Right.
I'll text you. Or I'll tell Adrian to call you and let you know. But yeah. All right. So you guys, see you on Wednesday. I probably will be on Monday and on Tuesday with a couple interviews, but we will definitely see you on Wednesday for Dating Diaries. Check out Lennox and Parker. I have a great interview cover with, ironically, Stacey Plaskett, who is the representative for the Virgin Islands. So the ladies from Huntsville are going to St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. Did you know that people in the Virgin Islands do not vote for the president, but they vote locally?
In their party, that's weird. Is that they do that in Puerto Rico too?
I'm not sure. I know in Virgin.
I think I heard that about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I don't think they vote for the U.S. president, but yeah.
Oh, DC doesn't either.
Where?
Washington D.C. Because it's a state.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah. XO Rhonda, thank you guys for tuning in. We love you guys. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you next week.
Be safe, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.